All right, is that recording? Yeah, it's recording. There we go. Let's get going here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave Canyon. Yes, even bigger applause. And I'll be your host for the next half hour or less for the fastest podcast on earth, fastest dumbcast on earth, Dumbing It Down with Dave. Yes, thanks for that last burst of applause. I appreciate it. Yes, the fastest dumbcast on earth as I travel to work today. Usually I do a podcast on the way home. Today I'm doing it on the way to work. That's rare for me that I'm this organized on the way in. In fact, I was just listening to a podcast and I had to stop 11 minutes in because I said, hey, this is a good time to start. So, I just felt like it. And that's what this podcast is all about. So it is the fastest podcast on earth because I'm doing it, I'm recording it at between speeds of 65 to 80 miles an hour. So that is why we refer to it like that. And I'm using some interesting Bluetooth apparatus as a microphone, and I'm trying to make sure that the microphone part is in an appropriate location. So there we go. All right. So that's it. Thank you, folks. Just right at the top of the show, if you like what you hear, in the next 29 minutes or less, because we are definitely going to be done within 30 minutes. That is the new format. Definitely less. And sometimes we do a 5-minute show, a 10-minute show, or a 15, whatever show. It doesn't matter. There are no rules in the worlds of podcasting or Dumbing It Down with Dave. Just try to have a little integrity. That's what I'm going to try to do. The little integrity, which we've always tried to maintain, a sense of humor, try to be informative and entertaining and ultimately compelling. Hopefully, not normally, not usually, that we hit all of them at once. That would be pretty amazing. So yeah, I am traveling at speeds of 65 to 80 miles an hour. I'm traveling to work. I'm on the New York State Thruway, and I am in my porta potty. Poddy, and we are it's a 2008 Kia Rio, and we are at 215,533 miles. It's a 2008, and it's 215,533 miles. So, that's a lot of miles. And I had an oil change today. I'd like to thank my buddy Jack, who's also, he's not a mechanic, he's a buddy of mine. And he's also not a contractor, he's a non-contractor. He's an agreeer. He just did a lot of work in my house. And if you need work done in your house and you live in my area, which is Saugerties, New York, then contact me and I'll get you in touch with Jack. He does a great job. Okay, anyway, so he did my oil change today and it feels fantastic. So today, you know what I think we're going to do? I'm going to pre-name this show. I'm going to pre-name it and see if I can stick with the title. I'll do a show based on the title that I decide. Because for those of you that don't know, which is almost everybody listening to the show, because nobody listens to the show with any regularity, except for one person. His name is Mark, and he's a truck driving buddy of mine. And even if he wasn't a truck driver any longer, for some reason he decided to stop doing that, he'd still be a buddy of mine. Although I don't know how much more we would talk on the phone, because we usually talk when we're both on the road. Very rarely do we ever talk to each other as we're each sitting in our own chairs in our domiciles. So that doesn't seem to happen a lot. But we have spent social time together, free time together. We have spent time together, and but he doesn't live in New York State anymore. He lives in Alabama. And it is a possibility that one day we will be co-hosts of a different podcast other than Dumbing It Down with Dave. So why did I just refer to Mark? Oh, see, I'm on a rabbit trail. I gotta get back on the trail. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna name this show. I'm gonna pre-name it Momentum, Mayhem, and Muck. Actually, if I do it in alphabetical order, it would be Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. I should do it in alphabetical order, or should I do it in comedic order? Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. Yeah, I like that. It's actually a little bit smoother off the tongue. Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. It's like a law firm. I like that. Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. I already ruined it. All right. Yeah, Momentum, Mayhem, and Muck. That doesn't work for me. Okay. So that's it. The show, episode 24, has been renamed, or pre-named, Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. So why do I call it that? Because I took, if you listen to episode 23, you'll see that I reference taking time off from doing this podcast, doing this dumbcast. I'm coining my own phrases, folks. Porter, potty, and dumbcast. These are my phrases that I'm coining for this show, which is called Dumbing It Down with Dave. See, everything in this show is dumb. And I believe most things in the world are pretty dumb. They're also stupid because we're just dumb humans. Even the smartest humans are pretty dumb. We do dumb things. That's just my take. But what I did was, as I referenced in episode 23, was I took time off. I took a break. It wasn't supposed to be as long. No, let me rephrase that. I did not intend for it to be as long as it was. I guess I took a couple of months off. And I did it because I had some stuff going on in my life, and I found out, if not in the last couple of months, but in the last couple of years, that I have a small window of opportunity to do things well, to do things right, to get things done, to complete things. I have a very small window of opportunity every day. It's usually a couple of hours. And once I've done any chore or task or anything I've done, anything that I accomplished to some sort of fullness, to some sort of completion, not always complete, but sometimes. And if I have a criteria of 0 to 10, once I hit 10, I'm done for the day. I mean, I guess that's not specific to me. Most people, once they hit 10, you'll say, oh, I'm exhausted. I just want to sit down and do nothing. So I think I have a much smaller 10, an easier 10 to achieve. Maybe my 10 is a 5. Maybe that's really the way I should do it. If everybody has a 10, I have a 5. Not everybody. And I don't always have a 5. But whatever it is, I'm done pretty quickly during the day. And basically, I've learned that I can do one thing well only every day. And once that one thing well is done, let's say I got to go cut the grass. I go cut the grass. I have a couple of acres. That takes me a couple of hours to cut the grass. When I cut that grass, I'm pretty much done. If I go run a 5K, that's pretty much it. I'm done. In other words, I'm not looking for more things to accomplish other than sitting on my butt and eating and talking and drinking or whatever is casual. Yeah, I mean, there's a difference. I'm probably going to explore this more as I continue on my life and continue doing this podcast. And I bet you there already is some sort of psychological science to this, or some sort of physical science, or a collaboration thereof of all these different things. Yeah, humans, or anything breathing, get at a certain point gives up. They stop. They're done. Not gives up. Just says, all right, that's enough. I've had enough. I filled my cup. Whatever it is. I know there's plants. I have plants on my property that at night the plants close up. And when I come home, let's say I'm walking around my property, I go, oh, did that thing die? What, is that thing sick? And then the next morning, as the sun comes up, everything opens up. I don't know what kind of flower they are I have for my house. So anyway, whatever I'm saying, by the way, I'm about as dumb as they get. So if you're listening to me go, Dave, that's not that complicated. It's basically what you're talking about. This is photosynthesis. It's just basic photosynthesis, or whatever scientific college-educated word and phrase or application, whatever it is you want to say. But then if you know it, then I don't know if this show is for you. This show is for people who are as dumb as I am. Everybody's trying to do a show that hits a bar, that's they raise the bar high. They're trying to do a highfalutin show or whatever it is they're trying to do. This show doesn't try to do that. This show tries to keep it, if not legible, comprehensible. I try to break things down. We try to dumb it down. That's what we try to do. Dumb it down so everybody understands. So if you're sitting there going, what is he talking about? It's just this. Then you need to tune out. You need to tune into something on WNYC radio, New York City radio, Freakonomics or Radio Lab, or I was just listening to a show called Note to Self, a podcast where they were talking about algorithms to help you improve your life. Algorithms? Wow. I don't know if that's a word I would ever use on the show. Dumbing It Down with Dave, which can be emailed at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, or you can tweet me. Tweet me at dumbwithdave. By the way, it's DUMB. This show, the people listening to the show are so uneducated or so unaware that I have to teach them how to spell the word dumb. DUMB. And that's not really insulting to refer to somebody as my dum-dums. I haven't done that in episode 23. I forgot. I refer to my listeners as my dum-dums, which is a term of endearment. And I'm just as dumb as anybody. So I'm not saying something to anybody. I'm not saying anything to you that I wouldn't say to myself or about myself. So I learned that about myself over the vacation. I really figured it out, but I've known it for a while, and it's been something that's been developing. So Mayhem, momentum, and Muck. So I break my cell phones, all right? I break my cell phones. My cell phone life is not very long. I've had cell phones for a year and a half. They seem to sort of start getting weird at a certain point. Like all of a sudden something doesn't work, or the lens gets a little, not dirty, but scratched. Like little by little, I drop it. I forget to put I take the rubber protective case off, then I drop it, then I put it back on. It's just one thing leads to another, and my phone starts to usually whack out. I've dropped it in the toilet once. I've done all stupid things. Cracked the lens, cracked the camera lens while the phone works. Not the lens. I cracked the camera lens, but I cracked the screen. I've done all these different things. I think I've overloaded phones. I've overheated phones. I don't know. Just a various amount of things I've done. And eventually phones don't last with me. Especially now that I'm doing a podcast and I'm a truck driver for this particular company. By the way, I'm a truck driver if you didn't know that. So, every time my phone, by the way, this is also part of why I took time off. I said I didn't intend. I think I took about 2 or 3 months off from my last podcast. You could tell, I think, in the show, not notes, in the show playlist, I think, it'll tell you the dates. Does it tell you the dates, or do I have to write it? I don't know how Spreaker does it. I don't even know, because I don't like really pay attention. But so anyway, when I lose my phone, when I break my phone, it screws me up, because now I'm doing the podcast with my phone. That's why I chose to do a podcast with Spreaker in the first place, was that you can use your phone. I don't have a fancy microphone. I have this Bluetooth thing here that's hanging from my ear. I would use the same apparatus to make a phone call. I thought I just saw Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm in a car next to me, in a convertible. Turns out it's just another old man with white hair. But this guy actually had a little bit more than Larry's amount of white hair. Anyway, and that'll happen during this Dumbcast. If you haven't heard it before, there'll be things that happen, and I'll mention it as I'm driving up the thruway. Episode 23, I almost rear-ended somebody pulling into a toll booth. Not really almost rear-ended, but somebody did kind of stop short. I responded to it, and not with a curse word. I don't think so. I don't think I dropped an F-bomb. The show really doesn't drop F-bombs. It could, it just doesn't. I try to keep it clean. Try to keep it for the masses, but it's not a family show. It's not a kid show. So, all right. So when the phone goes down, what I'm trying to say is, my life seems to really stop short. Look at that, a little bit of an analogy. A little similarity to what I was just mentioning. Yeah, my life comes to a complete halt because I do the Dumbcast on the phone, but the whole thing about my texts, I've lost a lot of important texts. Like once upon a time, I thought we would discuss all the names I didn't choose for the show, Dumbing It Down with Dave. I did have many other titles. I would just drive down the road, think of a title, and then I just text it to myself. I do that. I wish there was an app that would back up your texts. Now I have Mighty Text. Mighty, M-I-G-H-T-Y, Mighty Text. So I don't even know if all these texts are showing up on my laptop as I speak. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I got to ask my buddy about that. Well, I guess next time I open up my laptop, I haven't opened it for a couple of days. I'll find out. But I was introduced to an app called Mighty Text, M-I-G-H-T-Y-T-E-X-T. I'm not, I have no sponsors. So if I mention a company's name, I'm just doing it because I'm being informative. But apparently, when you download the app in your phone, which I've done, you go to your laptop or your desktop and you log in, and all the texts that are on your phone end up on your laptop in a nice format. So anyway, I have that now. I don't know if it actually saves everything if I lose my phone or break it. I would think it would, but because it's in the app. I don't know. So it exists. I never had it. I have it now. But I had all these show titles, and I thought I would do a show with talk about all the show titles I didn't pick. Well, when I lost my phone 2 or 3 phones ago, all those funny titles went away. I remember one title, and I guess we might as well. I can mention it now, but I can't elaborate on it because that's not what the show is about. I'm trying to stay on point. The show is about Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. So, whatever. So what happened? The show was called one of the titles I selected that I didn't select that I thought about was calling the show "Forgiving Hitler." Forgiving Hitler. Wow, Dave, that's horrible. Why would you pick a name like that? You might say. Well, because that's one of the hardest things to do, is to forgive Hitler. For most of us, not all of us, but for most of us, to forgive him would be very difficult. But what happens if you try to forgive him? But you might say, Dave, you think that's a funny title? Well, it's an intriguing title. It would, anytime you put Hitler, anytime you put Hitler in the salad, nobody cares about the lettuce. How about that? That's what I'm going to say. Once you put Hitler on the plate, you don't really notice the vegetables in the meatloaf and whatever. Hitler always stands out. But I was thinking, in the way of, what if Hitler was a 6-year-old boy? If you went back in time and you were put in a place where you could see Hitler as a 6-year-old boy, and you saw things that he went through. I don't know the story of Hitler. I don't empathize. Well, I empathize with almost everybody. So I got to stop saying that. I empathize with almost everybody. And I can empathize with Hitler, and that's one hell of a childhood he must have had. So, yeah, I can empathize and forgive him as a little boy. Can't forgive him really as a man, but then again, there must have been some horrific things that have happened to him, or just a series of events that turned him into what he turned into. This monster. He wasn't a monster when he came out of the womb. I don't think so. I don't think he was a monster as a 6-year-old boy. I think the monster slowly grew and expanded every day, as I like to say, my favorite phrase, 0.001 at a time. Every day, 0.001. A little bit more monsterish than the day before. And I think he was in a little bit of, he was enabled to be a monster, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I didn't choose that title, but I thought it was a humorous and interesting title. And I had many, many, many other cliched podcast titles, like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that was the title. That's what I'm saying. All right, so anyway, this show isn't about the titles I didn't pick. I'm just trying to recollect ones that I lost on my phone. But that really upset me. That really stopped my momentum. It caused a little mayhem in my life because I was like, it affected everything I did. Not just that text of me texting myself, and I would do it every day or every other day. Whenever I had a thought, I would text myself. Anyway, the point being that it caused a little mayhem in my life, and everybody has different criteria for what mayhem is, and then it got me stuck in the muck. People say muck and mire. I'm not really sure what mire is, but I know what muck is, when you're stuck in the muck. I picture like a horse, walking into I don't know why a horse, because I just seen a couple of horses get rescued on the internet, and they get into this muck, and they can't get out of it. Their feet are stuck in this muddy muck. I don't know what mire is. Or is it mired in the muck? Maybe I'm saying it wrong, because I always said muck and mire. Mired in the muck. Mired. Well, I can only imagine that means you're stuck. Stuck in the muck. Mired in the muck. Anyway, look it up. I don't have time. I'm at the toll booth here at exit 23 in Saugerties. How long have I been going, by the way? 21 minutes and 47 seconds. Excellent. We'll be done by the time I get to my parking spot. All these new podcasts will be a half hour or less. It's going to take me a half hour just to get to the toll booth. Thanks for not letting me. Oh, thank you, lady. Oh, look at that. I got the wave. Nice. Somebody let me in front of her. That's fantastic. That's courtesy. Always show courtesy at the toll booth. So, yeah, that really ruined me. I lost a lot of different other, texts of information as I used it to, you might put things on a Post-it and put it up on the bulletin board. I didn't do that. I did texts. I texted myself. And that didn't really, that doesn't work when you break your phone or lose your phone with any regularity. All right, so there's that. But my life is like that. Anything that sort of disturbs my momentum puts me in mayhem. And then I get mired in the muck because I can't get things done. I'm like, and then I feel, for those of you who are offended, I apologize, but I start to feel a little retarded. I feel unintelligent. I feel incapable. I feel, I feel a lot of negative things. And it's bad. And that happens to me a lot. Right now, I'm feeling the complete opposite of mayhem, momentum, and muck. I feel the complete opposite. My Jack, the agreeer, the non-contractor, has left my house after being in it, I think, for 2 months. We've done some home renovations. My bedroom is in great shape. It's beautiful. It's comfortable. I have a new bed. My CPAP is working. Although I think it makes a weird sound now, which really makes me nervous. But I'm that type of person, when something breaks. Oh, I also have an oil change. Change my oil change. My weed whacker is working. I weed whacked today. I did. My lawnmower is working. My snowblower is working. But I'm the type of person, I'm going to admit to this, I don't know to what degree, but when something important to me doesn't work, I don't work. That's the point of this show. Let's dumb this show down, because I'm going to be in my parking spot in a few minutes, and it's 24 minutes into the show, and I'm going to try to be done by 29 minutes and say my goodbyes. This show is no longer going to be a drag-on show. This show, I could have easily made this show an hour in the older format. I'm not going to do that. So you get it. Are you like that? That's my question to you. Is that the way you are? When something goes wrong, do you just fall apart? Do you fall apart for 5-10 minutes, and then you get yourself back on your feet, and then you get going? Or does it affect you in everything? Do you think about it? See, as a truck driver, what I'm doing now, driving, looking out my windshield, that's what I do all night. I do that for 16 hours a day. 4 to 5, well, now it's going to be 5 days a week for the next 8 to 10 months. But because I'm getting into my season where it's time to earn money. But otherwise, sometimes I'll do it for 4 days. I'll just stare at the window and I think, and I think, and I think, and I think, and I shouldn't be touching this. So I was just touching my Bluetooth. I was adjusting it. I don't know if that was a good idea. I want the microphone to be out because I think that's when it sounds better. But I don't want to have to hold it in my hand. See, it sits there on my collar. Yeah, so I'll think about it all night long, and I'll just keep on regurgitating it in my brain. Regurgitating is good. Yeah, I chew it up, and then I swallow it, and then it upsets me, and then it comes back up, and then it's like in my mouth or in my brain, this regurgitation. Is that what it would be? Would it be called regurgitation? I don't know. I don't know if that's the proper word. And then the regurgitation. Yeah, the regurgitate. It's regurgitation. And then it goes back down and up and down and up and down. It gets more and more vile. It doesn't help you. I don't, do I learn anything from it? As I keep on regurgitating it? I don't think so. Not good, not healthy. So, how do you handle it? What do you do? Email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. That is, I just gave you one example. It's a half-hour show. I probably could have made the point a lot quicker. I apologize if you think I went on with the 1 point too long. I'm trying to do better in the show. Try to be clear and concise, informative, compelling, entertaining, and somewhat witty or comedic if at all possible. So that is the title of the show. It's my pre-title. It's probably going to be my title, and it'll be my post-title. Episode 24, Mayhem, Momentum, and Muck. The law firm of your life. How do you live your life? What kind of law do you live by? Is that a law? It's not really a law, but it's the environment that you create for yourself. Right now, everything is the opposite. Everything seems to work. Everything's going fine. I got to just eat a little bit better, exercise a lot more, or even a little more to start. Let's not say a lot more. Eat a little better, exercise a little better, a little more. Get back into meditation. I meditated once in the last couple of months or twice. I got to meditate more, and I got to keep this momentum going. And that's another part of the show is everybody, well, mostly Mark, but me, you, whoever is listening, my new listeners, to sort of track the progress of a middle-aged man, a 53-year-old middle-aged truck driving, bald, married, Jewish, semi-intelligent, semi-unintelligent, semi-creative, semi-uncreative, semi-successful, I don't know if I can say, semi-unsuccessful individual. I do the best I can. Are you doing the best you can? Do you think about life this way? That today I'm trying to be 0.001 better than the day before? That's how I'm going to live my life. That's how I don't know if I can't say that's how I've always lived my life. I mean, I think I always try to do better, but right now I feel like I have such potential to actually be 0.001 better than the day before. But that's because everything in my life works. My car works. My phone works. The toaster works. That's going to go any day now. My Bluetooth works. Everything works. And as soon as something doesn't work, I wonder if I'm going to so quickly slide into mayhem, momentum, and muck. I don't know. But anyway, I think we dumbed it down pretty good. I'm a couple of minutes from my parking spot. I'm a little bit late for work. What's new? Dave's late for work. About 36 minutes at this point, late for work. Not really late, like I'm in trouble. Late because I just wasted time. I sat with my wife, who I haven't seen in a couple of days, because we're like ships that pass in the night. But anyway, folks, that was good. Wow, 29 minutes, I gotta go. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Was I shouting? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shout. But thanks for tuning in, all right? Until next show, episode 25, good day, good night, good luck, goodbye, Godspeed, and great skills. Take care, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Email me, tweet me. Bye. Oh, and I almost forgot. Oh, my God, I almost forgot. I got 10 seconds to say that. ComedyPipe.com. ComedyPipe.com. Don't forget to listen to Pipe Dream at ComedyPipe.com. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a half hour. Pipe Dream. ComedyPipe.com. Bye.